Hello, good afternoon to another edition of Let's Talk on PAP TV. And today we are privileged to have Mr. Jeffrey Onganga, the head of communication and media for the Pan-African Parliament. Mr. Onganga, you are welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, so Mr. Onganga, can you tell us how the Pan-African Parliament managed to pull this meeting through despite the lack of funds situation?
Well, first of all, we must be grateful to all the stakeholders for working with us really to ensure that the Pan-African Parliament, despite some of the challenges that have been highlighted throughout the year, was able to gather and have the sitting of permanent committees and other organs. It was really important for the leadership to ensure that we go to the end of the year having held the 4 statutory meetings, because the business of Parliament on behalf of the people of South Africa is very important. Then, of course, it was done in a specific context. As you know, the resource situation remains reality, but the commitment is even stronger than the lack of resources at the Pan-African Parliament. So that's why we are very satisfied with how we've been able to achieve this important engagement.
Okay. So what are the takeaways from this meeting?
I think what was important, once again, was to ensure that after we sat in June for the ordinary session, that permanent committees were able to come back here to ensure that the recommendations and resolutions taken with regards to the theme of the year were followed up, and that there was concrete implementation on the ground with regards to member states. Because I think one of the criticism that we've had, not just at the Pan-African Parliament, but also at the African Union really is, do our decisions and how do our policies really affect the people on the ground? And I think parliamentarians are well positioned to know and to get that feeling when they go back to the respective member states. So I think the first takeout was them coming back after June and ensuring that whatever was said on the theme of education was actually being listened to, and then it was actually being incorporated in national legislation and so forth. The second aspect really is that the African Union agenda is not going to be achieved if national parliaments are not seized with this agenda and are really not made aware of what is going on in Addis Ababa. So that's why the Conference of Speakers of Parliament was a very important occasion for us during this sitting. So bringing presiding officers of African parliaments here, briefing them on the second 10-year implementation plan of Agenda 2063, briefing them on the theme of the year, and of course, giving them an overview of the peace and security situation on the continent, and ensuring that there was common decisions taken by these important personalities who head up a very key arm of governments in the respective countries. It was really important to be in that position. I think that the Conference of Speakers, and then of course we before that, as you know, clerks of parliaments met. Clerks of parliaments enabled the participation of parliamentarians here at the Pan-African Parliament. We hadn't had that meeting for quite a number of years. So it was a return of that meeting. We really, in a week, were able to achieve quite a lot of things with regards to what we want to see as concrete evidence of the work of the Pan-African Parliament, if I may put it that way.
Okay. So as the head of communication and media for the Pan-African Parliament, what are the plans to get media involved, get media as a partner to the Pan-African Parliament?
Well, first of all, as you know, the mandate of the Pan-African Parliament, one of the key mandates really is to create awareness of the policies of the African Union and the programs of the African Union. Is to ensure that the peoples of Africa are sensitized on what the AU is about. And there are various ways of doing that.
Mhm.
And it is evident that one of the ways is to work with the media. If parliamentarians and the media don't work together, it's going to be difficult for the African Union to be that institution that wants to be people-centered. We need to ensure that the citizens understand what we do. They need to be educated on the plans, on the mandate, and where we are going. Agenda 2063 needs the support of citizens.
Yeah.
So the media will have to play a key role. And I think at the Pan-African Parliament, we've recognized that that is a role that no other body can play than the media. And so our efforts over at least the past 3 years has been to ensure that we create that circle of media friends across the continent, that circle that's going to help us convey the message.
Yeah.
And for that, our strategy really is to, wherever we go, to ensure that we have networks, that we have those journalists that understand parliamentary reporting, that are able to also understand the African Union agenda, and that can really accompany us in the work that we do. And that's why, once again, even despite the challenges that we face, we've seen that the media continue, and they continue, and a lot of them are starting to see the importance of partnering with the Pan-African Parliament, coming here, covering. And of course, going forward, we know that more needs to be done to ensure that we are more diversified and more inclusive, really, of all the media types and media fraternity across our continent.
So is there something specifically that if I'm a media house in, let's say, Lesotho or Ghana or Nigeria, anywhere in the world, but I want to partner with the Pan-African Parliament, is there a special process I have to go through, or is there any process?
Well, first of all, I hope by process you don't mean bureaucracy, because that's the one thing we are trying to eliminate here. We want to, not only we want to, and I hope we are getting to the point where we are seen as open and transparent, and that we can be approached by any organization that really wants to assist with the work of creating awareness, and ensuring that our institutions really are here to serve the people. So please get in touch with the Pan-African Parliament, whether through our digital platforms, and just, we hope there's enough information for whoever to get in touch. And once you get in touch, and that you have a project, you have a plan that you really want to propose, we are willing to listen, we are willing to engage. It's really us also admitting and recognizing that the talent, the knowledge, the expertise, all these elements don't lie just here in the Pan-African Parliament. They are everywhere on the continent, even in the world. So we welcome the support, welcome the contribution, and we are willing to work with whoever shares our vision of educating the people of Africa on the AU policies and programs. I will not want to go before really expressing gratitude to the APPN. I think it's very important from where I sit to clearly spell out the fact that the African Parliamentary Press Network has been a very, very reliable ally and a reliable partner in this journey. We appreciate the efforts, we appreciate the sacrifices, really. And I think when we started this a few years ago, it was just a dream, and we are getting to a point where it is becoming a seamless and really a strong relationship. And I really appreciate you being with us. And I hope this is just one aspect of what we can achieve together. Definitely. So I just wanted to mention that. Definitely. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Onganga, for the audience and also addressing our colleagues out there. So as you heard it from Mr. Onganga, The Pan-African Parliament is open. Its doors are open to collaborate and work with media houses all over the continent to tell the story of the Pan-African Parliament. Okay, so colleagues, see you on the next edition of Let's Talk, and bye from here.